So this video will probably just be about trauma and how Satan uses it to take us down, to get us stuck, to make us hate God, turn us against others, and turn us against ourselves and God. Yeah. So, I mean, they're really stuck if you do that and you isolate yourself, because the whole purpose of this life is to find truth and find God, right? And to accept Jesus and his sacrifice for you so that you can have eternal life. So if Satan can cause you enough pain that you just close all the doors and cut everyone out and just have bitterness and resentment and just no trust for anyone, then you're isolated, you're miserable, you're vindictive, and that's not love, right? And we're supposed to not be perfect, but we are supposed to try to be like Jesus, which he is love. And sometimes love does some things that look like flipping tables over, right? Because, you know, what's behind that is basically mistreating people, tricking them into thinking that they have to pay money to some church for forgiveness of their sins. So you're stealing from them, and you're also tricking them into thinking this is what they need to do, when really they need to talk to the one and only, right? So is that worthy of God in the flesh getting angry and flipping over their tables? I would say so. So yeah, there's such a thing as righteous anger. And you know, some of what we experience from our trauma is righteous anger, because it's like, that is not cool. It is not fair. But we got to put our anger towards the right place. And the anger does not go towards God, because we have to come full circle and realize he's the maker. Like, he put us here, and everything that we're going through is because he created free will. And when he does that, it means that there will be evil, and there will be pain, and there will be suffering, because everybody has a choice to spread love or spread hate. So if God were to not allow pain, suffering, trauma, abuse, then we would not have free will at all, because then that means that if you were to be the cause of someone's pain and suffering, he would take you out immediately, which means we would all be taken out. So I, for one, can be very vulnerable and admit I have caused people pain and suffering. And I, for a long time, didn't want to live, because I didn't like that that was the case. And I also didn't like that the reason that I was so damaged and was, you know, in a position to where I could cause so much pain and suffering, even though I'm responsible for it, I also felt very much so like it was what I'd been through that caused that to come out of me. And it took a while for me to be able to get control of it. Like, it was like a trauma loop. It was like a trauma response. It was like a trigger thing. Like, I would be triggered, and then my brain would think, what this person is doing, they're trying to hurt me. And then I would get very angry and defensive and cut them off. Like, cut off basically love. You know what I mean? So, and that's basically narcissism. That's what a narcissist does. They just use love to hurt people. And that's not love, but they withdraw love. So it's very, very, it seems sadistic. It really does. But I don't think it's coming from a place of sadism. So that's why I'm able to forgive now for basically anything. And I'm able to love anyone because I've seen what trauma can do to somebody. So when I see the worst of the worst, I'm able to have compassion because I know that that means they've been through a lot and they haven't come through it and they haven't found love and God and joy on the other side yet. And that person needs unconditional love and acceptance more than anyone, more than the people that act like they deserve it, more than somebody that you would say, oh, they're just so awesome and they deserve so much love because look how great and awesome they are. Well, yeah, they haven't been through anything. I mean, unless they've made it to, through to the other side, and now they're strong and they're a warrior and they can help others and have compassion on those who haven't made it there yet. So yeah, I believe trauma can, as we know, God, if you love God, everything comes together for good in the end for those who love Him. So it means that don't let all this pain and suffering make you hate God. That's exactly what Satan wants. You want to let him win? You want to let him get you to hate God when God didn't even do this? God just created all this, and Satan is one of his creations, and he happens to be causing a lot of chaos, and he's given Satan a certain amount of time, and he's given him certain amount of chances, and he's given him his what he deems is fair for him. So if you wonder why doesn't he destroy Satan, well, why doesn't he destroy you? Why doesn't he destroy me? Like, I was bent on destruction at one time and I didn't even really know it. I was toxic. I wanted to die because I knew I was toxic. I can still be toxic. I still have some toxic traits where I'm like, ooh, I can laugh at myself now though. At least I can recognize it and I can be like, wow, you're so critical. That's so funny. You just learned that from childhood and now you just criticize and then I'll laugh at myself and be like, sorry, that's toxic. If I do that to my husband, I used to just do it and then get mad. And now if I see myself doing it, I'm like, that's pretty toxic, isn't it? Okay. So I'm always going to be a work in progress because we all are, because we're flesh and we're not perfect. But I think this life is part of overcoming what you've been through and coming to a place where you can accept and love anyone. And that doesn't mean you tolerate horrific things or toxic people. It means you love them and you set boundaries. But you love them because you see where they're at. But only if you've really been through it, I think, would you be able to do that. So I don't know if everybody is capable of that. So truly then trauma does have a purpose because it helps you to love unconditionally. Because if you're able to love yourself unconditionally, seeing how you were able to be how you were and you were just broken, then you're able to see that all these people who are acting this way, they're broken in some form. At least that's how I interpret it. Maybe it's not the case for everyone. Maybe there are possessed people too, but that trauma sometimes allows that as well. So, I don't know everybody's story, but I do know I can see pain because I'm an empath, and I guess that's what they call it, but I can literally see it because I've been there. And just know what it's like. I know how long it takes. I know the road. It's not easy. It's extremely difficult to overcome a tremendously painful life where the people who were supposed to love you just hurt you. And now I see that even if it was intentional, it was because of trauma. It was because I was triggering them, not because of anything I was doing wrong, but because they couldn't cope. They couldn't offer what I needed. It was too overwhelming. They weren't able to love themselves. How are they gonna love a child who has all these needs when they never had their needs met? They don't know how to meet someone else's needs and love somebody unconditionally. And that's still been hard for me, and it was hard for me to know that I struggle with that because that was never modeled to me, except God modeled it, right? God models it. He's that, but it was hard to see that he's that because I'd never seen it in this life. But that's the only place I've seen it. I think most people probably see it from their parents, and so then it helps them have a relationship with God because they're like, God loves us like our father loves us, right? Or like our mother loves us, just like deeply and like no matter what. And that's how I see it. And so if you grow up with absolutely zero example of what love is, unconditional love, then your relationship with God is on a rocky start. But that's okay because we gotta work on it, and he'll meet us where we're at, and he'll pull us through. Even if you're mad at him sometimes, he still loves you. That was hard for me to realize too. I'm like, well, I've said some things, I've felt some ways, he probably doesn't love me anymore, but that's not how he works. He always does, no matter what, which that's hard for me to fathom. It really is. But that's what God is, because God is love, so it doesn't stop. Yeah, so don't let Satan win. Don't let trauma turn you against God, because that's exactly what the enemy wants. And he's the one who caused the trauma. Because at the end of the millennial reign, when he got his minions on the earth, whether they're actual fallen angels or people influenced or possessed by evil spirits, that's what they did. They separated the kids from the parents, and they had the kids raised by some severely messed up, toxic caregivers. Because, just think about it and look at the fruits of it, and I can feel it in my spirit. I can see it. It's very obvious to me that that's what happened, because I see the patterns of it and the narcissistic spirit. I think that's literally what caused it. Narcissistic parents or caregivers raising children to be just totally, it's just a sadistic way of acting. No humanity, just not allowing for humanity or love or any of that. Just total. I don't even want to give examples, but if you've been there, they break you, and they break you some more, and they break you until you don't have any joy or happiness left, because you're afraid to, because it's then you have something for them to steal. So you learn to not even be happy or joyful. So you're literally suffering all the time, and you're more comfortable in your suffering, and that's no way to live, because then you will find a reason to be upset and depressed. So God can turn it all around. It may not be an overnight thing. it's really not. It wasn't for me. Maybe it is for some people, and they just like, woo, I'm healed. Great. I wish it was that easy for everyone. It just wasn't for me. And he just works on us all. Like, I think trauma is embedded so deeply and intertwined so heavily into the soul and spirit and mind that it is a unraveling and a slow work, like peeling an onion, to get back to pureness and just, you know, love and authenticity. It takes time. So just hang in there. If you have been through, if you were raised by narcissistic, alcoholic parents, and they just ravaged you, don't let the enemy win. You just have to endure and just give it to God and just ask Him to fix it, to heal you, show you what you need to fix, show you the thought patterns that need to change, and the behaviors that you need to change, and the reactions. And it's going to take looking at yourself and your triggers and your reactions to those triggers, and just self-compassion and loving yourself through that, because it was hard. And what you created, who you became, was a survival mechanism. It was a strategy to survive. So it's not your fault that you became that, but it's not conducive to life anymore. It's not helping anymore. So you have to unravel that and get back to love, because you're safe now. When you're an adult, you're safe, and you can protect yourself, and you can move away, and you can cut contact with toxic people. When you're a child, you have to stay. You're forced to. And so it causes us to change into something else. Something not so pretty, but it's beautiful, because we're surviving. So we love ourselves for what we had to become, and for what we know we're going to have to endure and overcome. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But that's what we're called to do, overcome. And this little season where we're all, not all of us, but a lot of us, are descendants of some very traumatized people. Very toxic. Not all of them realized it. I mean, I don't know how that's possible. Some of us, I think it's if you, I don't know what makes the difference, but some people are determined to heal, and others continue to medicate, self-medicate, and can't face it. And I don't know if it's because it was too much and they can't, or what. But I mean, it's obviously going to be better to go through the storm, right? What do they say? Like I can't remember. I think it's like the bull goes through the storm, and the cow, maybe. There's like one animal, sorry, I'm going to butcher this, but there's one animal. Which one is it? It's like maybe it's the buffalo. Yeah, I think it's the buffalo. So the buffalo doesn't run from the storm. Cows run from the storm. So be like the buffalo. Just go straight into it and run through it. It's going to be a little scarier, a little harder, but it'll be over faster, and you'll be stronger for it. If you just run from it, you're going to wear yourself out, and the storm's going to catch up to you eventually anyway. So you might as well just face it head on and do the work and just get through it. So I think the hardest part is recognizing that the trauma has turned you into a toxic person, just like the toxic person that hurt you. That's what makes it so hard. And so you have to be willing to look at that, have compassion on that, love yourself through that, and work on that. Apologize to people that you hurt in the past, present, and as you continue to, because no one's perfect and you will mess up. Because how else are you going to see what you need to fix if you don't keep living and seeing where your faults are and what needs to change? So, is it easy? No, especially if you have kids, and that's part of the process is, raising them and seeing, oh man, that's not how I want to be. I need to fix that. I need to figure out how to love through that and not be triggered by that. And like, it is not easy. But this life is temporary. And if you're open with your kids and honest with them, like they love unconditionally. You talk about unconditional love. Well, kids have that. People say, I always said I loved my mom more than she loved me. And I think that's true. I think kids, they love their parents like no matter what. Like I memorized the direction of every hair, like the shape of the hands, just every freckle, mole that, is on the face. Like they are tuned into you because they're just so obsessed and love you so much. So that's what gave me, my kids are what gave me the motivation I needed to face my pain and actually heal. And it has not been easy. But it's worth it because our kids deserve the healed version of us. Even if they're already grown, it's still just like prayer is retroactive. Your healing is retroactive too. And I knew that instinctively, intuitively from a young age, because I remember having the thought when I was like a teenager, like if she would just like stop self-medicating and just realize what she's doing and like apologize and like try to do better and just recognize that she's hurt me and try to do better, I'd forgive her like that. And I would have a loving mother in my life, even if she's not perfect. If she can at least recognize that she's not and work on herself, then I'll have the mother I need. Well, that never happened. And that means, and I knew what that was going to mean. I knew that was going to mean a lot of pain for me, and loneliness, isolation, and suffering. And it sure did. I'm almost 40, and I'm just now getting to a point where I can actually have some peace. And it's not even perfect. Like, I don't have peace all day long. Is that my fault? Am I not fully saved? Like, sometimes I wonder. I'm like, I don't know. Like, what else do I need to do? I'm trying everything I know to do. So, like, what else is there? But, yeah, so that's what your kids need. They just need you to work on yourself and to love them and to heal yourself and to show them how to heal themselves, because they're gonna have to love themselves and help themselves through some stuff too. We all do, and they need those coping skills from us. So we have to learn them somehow. How to heal ourselves, how to cope with our emotions, how to know what we need and figure out what we need and forgive ourselves and forgive others. Yep, so that is what I have learned about trauma, and it is one of Satan's favorite tools to get people to turn from God. But God gave me some stubbornness, and I used to refuse to let my mom win. And then I realized she's just damaged. She didn't do any of that on purpose, I don't think. I think she just is so toxic because she's so damaged. She didn't even mean to hurt me like this, I don't think. I used to think she did. I used to think this is intentional. And maybe it was, but I've come to a place where I forgive her, because anybody that would intentionally hurt somebody that bad has issues. And anybody that has issues for a reason. They've been through something. Somebody treated them that way. So you're able to forgive people for their hang-ups, their shortcomings, their toxicity. So I forgive her, and then I was like, why did God let me go through all this? And then I realized Satan did this, not God. But God can use everything for good that Satan meant for evil. I just gotta hang on for my love for God, and everything will work out for his good.